like is having a click track without a 1. Right, and you'll find with deconstruction, just because I like that 1 to move, right? I like it to be like here and then there, and I like it to move in a way that it's not like obvious, like here comes the clever change, guys, bang, right? It was like that's what I like about key as well, because it's like soft, and then when it switches. And it's like it changes there, but it's not like backtrack, people. And I think that's like, so I guess when I write, in the past, I would sit down and riff out until I had something. But really, the way that it works best for me is to have like a cool life, like an active life in terms of like friends and family and ups and downs and all the shit that we go through, right? And then when I finally do sit down at the computer, I just go, like literally. When I wrote Deconstruction, like I just sat at the computer, pressed record, and then a month later it was finished. And it's like, and it works good for me that way too, because I don't second guess it anymore. And going back to like that lack of like that sense of self-importance, I think that goes a long way, right? Because when I was doing Strapping or Infinity, it was the me show starring me, And all of a sudden with the kid and everything, it's like it's not an option, right? So it's actually really nice to like not write about myself. I remember Alanis Morissette. You remember her? Alanis. Right? But I remember hearing something about her where it was like the most frequently used word in her catalog is I or me. You know what I mean? And I was like, yeah, that's so selfish. And someone said, yeah, it's the same with you, dude. It was like, my problems, me, everything sucks. Everybody needs to understand how hard I've got it, right? And then all of a sudden, my grandpa died like last year and everything, and me and my mom were down at the insurance place trying to get the papers changed over. And the lady's like, why are you doing this? My mom's like, well, my father just passed away, right? And this lady's first reaction was like, well, you think that's bad? My father passed away, and now and it seems like everybody's in this like mad dash to like validate how shitty they've got it, And so I think that in a lot of ways now, like the whole idea with like what I'm trying to write about is just like, yeah, it's like crazy, right? But I think in a lot of ways it's like you always got a choice on whether you're gonna like view it as being, half empty or half full, right? And I mean, God, sometimes that's hard, but I mean, I think with Strapping, the reason I had to finish it is because I wouldn't become successful, saying that the glass is half empty, and I truly don't believe that, man. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, I think humans are kind of like an evolutionary missing link between something that's pretty Neanderthal, like we all are right now, and something that's like pretty cool, right? So, what a hippie. Look, I'm wearing I'm a piece of shit. Okay. Another question. Yeah.
The only tips on getting like the heavy sort of like
mid-range. Mid-range. Yeah, it's like a lot of times it's like, because I remember like, Justice for All and everything, where everything was like scooped so heavily, right? And then all of a sudden it became this trip where everybody's like, well, in order to get a heavy sound, you gotta scoop it, right? But the problem with that is if you scoop all your mids out, it doesn't push any air. And I think especially with the direct stuff, it's like you don't have the cabs that are gonna react, so you gotta push through with mid-range, right? So like, I model everything like after a rectifier, right? And if you're looking at a rectifier, I'd use the orange channel, like, the gain would be on about 4, bass would be on about 4, mid would be on about 3, treble would be on about 3, presence would be on about 6, and then I put a tube screamer in front of it, that's a clean boost, and there you go, man. But then again, it's all on your wrist too. It's not like, my sound when I crunch is different. Like, Dino of Fear Factory, dude, that cat's his wrist sounds ridiculous, man. Just because he's like this big dude with this big meaty wrist. It's like the way he hits the strings, he can play through anything, he's gonna sound like him. And I mean, same with me, right? Like I'll play through whatever and I'll sound like, Should we play another song? We can play a song, that's fine. Yeah, let's play a song. Why not?
I think we did love your comedy act.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
was
again,
ace.
it's like it was up to the choice at the time. You're just kind of like, you know, it's like I can either curl into fetal position here and suck my thumb, or I can just be like, how many jobs? I mean, I've had so many jobs, man. I worked at like 10 restaurants and a steel mill and like an industrial bakery, and I made surfboards. Like, dude, I did so many shit jobs. And during those shit jobs, there was not one that after, like a night like that, I got up on stage and was able to play my music, right? So, keeping it in perspective, man, I think is like a big thing.
Walking out triumphantly and whatnot.
That's the thing. I brought him all this shit. I'd never met Armando before, and I was just like, I dropped this rig on him, and I was like, here. Bam. We were just like fighting with him. We found my yellow box. I think it took a shit kick on the plane because it's like it's working now. What's that?
You're like the old like 80s sort of like Reebok boxes and whatnot that you showed in one of your videos.
Yeah, well, yeah, the GP100, that's that guy there. I mean, I've had that for years, man. Here, if you guys want to... Oh, yes, please. Yes, please. How many guys? I'll pass it around here. Let's see. Wait, pass it around, man. I mean... I was gonna play a song there, but it's like my voice is like totally. That's like B and like here's a bunch of picks too, like Sorry, what? Yeah, man, it's like they're just like I mean they're a little heavier because you know my brother-in-law put like those steel bras on them, but I mean, but I kind of like that, you know. I've always liked heavy guitars, right? But my back apparently doesn't agree, right? What's that? Yeah, you see the tunings on the top on the headstock there. We wrote it up there, I think. Oh right, yeah. You know, yeah. That's how we roll in the intermediate leagues.
Let's take a photo of that. F-sharp B.
That's right.
Put this down to an F-sharp.
That's right, man. That's because I got a 4-inch dong, man. You gotta compensate somehow, right? You're just like, yeah, I got a huge heavy guitar that's tuned low. That's right, it is. Anybody ask a question? Yeah, go ahead. Cool. Yeah, I mean, I think it's all in the details, to be honest. You know, I worked out this, we just finished deconstruction. I didn't have time to mix it, so we went to Jens in Sweden like last week. Jens Bogren, not Bogren, Bogren. Jens Bogren. And I mean, he's so fastidious, and he's never done drugs, and he's got like good hearing, and he doesn't go to sleep with the sound of frying bacon. Thank you very much. And so like when we hung out there, it's like he was able to like really work the compression, all this. But for me, like when I mix, like I did Addicted and Key and Ghost and everything. I mean they're good, right? But they're not like I don't know what I'm doing, right? I just kind of like. But because I don't know what I'm doing, I don't compress really, and I don't really EQ. Well, I do, but I kind of slot it, I think that's it. Okay, here it is. I'm like my mother, man. It would take her like 15 like levels of like getting pissed off at me until she finally realized that she was truly pissed off about it. She's like, I can't believe you left your shoes in that. And I was just like, wow, you're freaking out about my shoes, right? And then 2 days later, it's like, you forgot my birthday, right? She just told me that at the beginning. Now I got made a shoe rack. Crazy pants. But it's like, what the hell was I talking about? Producing. This Freud just slipped in there somewhere, right? He's like, Oedipus. New band. Oedipus complex, right? Yeah. Let me just figure. I totally derailed there thinking about my mom. It's for peeing, mommy. But let me think. Okay. So what is it? Oh yeah, slotting. Right. So because I do so many vocals, like I do it all in different sessions, right? Like so. Like I'll do the drums, bass, and guitar in one session. I'll like name it like guitar or drums, right? And then from there I'll do a submix, and then I make a new session with the same tempo, but with that submix, and then I'll record vocals or keyboards in a different session, and then I'll mix all those down into one master session. Because my computer's like steam powered, right? So it's like, so to make it all work in one place, it's not gonna happen, right? So if you just kind of like, keep bouncing it down, and then at the end you have some big god awful session that you can borrow your buddy. Hey, Jens, you can borrow his system. That's like awesome, right? You can put it all in there, right? So, but I mean, I honestly believe it's like where there's a will, there's a way. I'm definitely like point B is like, as long as I've got a solid point B, I'll find a way there, man. Like hell or high water, and that's like either. Financing some stupid record about a cheeseburger, or like, or like, making sure that my computer works, right? And then slot it. Like if you've got all these like vocals, if you don't EQ each one of them differently, they're just going to turn into a mush, right? So like the high vocals, you kind of carve the low end, and and then the mid vocals find the frequency that those notes work at, like emphasize those and get rid of the other ones, keep the high ones. And then when you put them together, each one of them's got a slot, and then when you hear them, it's like they're working together, right? Yeah. But I mean, it's like, and then I honestly, I don't compress much at all, and I add mid-range to the guitar, You can suck it out once you've got it in there, but I mean, really, it's like if you start with that super, like, every for a while, it's just like, I'll make the graphic equalizer look like a smile. But I mean, yeah, then after a while, it just sounds like, a coffee tin full of hornets, right? So. I compress them like I'm an FM radio DJ, man. I'm like, hey, this is DJ Dab, hey, in your morning drive this morning, it's Wacky Dab, hey, check it out, hey, this is a new song by the Spice Girls. Yeah, I compress them.
It's saving power doing it on that setting.
I love that shit. I love dance music, man. I'll take that stuff anytime over most metal, man. When I was at that club last night, they're just like, here's another 250 decibel metal classic. I'm like, you've got to be fucking kidding me, man. It's like 2 in the morning. Then again, I'm drinking herbal tea. I'm like, what records do I like recently? I think I like Alison Krauss and Robert Plant did a record recently. Plant. That I thought was awesome. There's a guy from Canada called Deadmau5 that's like a house sort of shit. I love that, man. It's like, I like music that I don't do, because then it's not like you're like thinking about it, right? It's just like another element of your day, right? So. Anybody else? No. Yeah, that could be it as well. But I think with Key, it was. There's a band from Canada called the Cowboy Junkies that I loved them. And then, what else did I listen to at that time? I just like, at that time I was really into quiet, and it was like, I was